Hey guys, it's Steph again. Thanks for tuning in. So today we're going to be talking a little bit more about creature rigging. I'm going to be showing you guys this rig that I just built, and then I'm going to be putting this rig, as always, online for you guys to download and enjoy. This is going to be the first in a series of creature rigs that I'm going to be demonstrating for you guys. And I'm going to be doing some more character rigging as well, so please subscribe or just check out our videos, and you can download these and kick them around a bit and have some fun. Anyway, so the first thing I want to do today actually is show you this little script that I wrote here. What this script does is it brings up this little GUI window for us that allows us to control kind of the gross motor movement of our dragon. Now, when you're rigging a creature like this, you need to remember that, you know, humans and the creatures like this are very different, and you have to approach them a little bit differently when you rig. Although some of the very basic fundamentals of rigging do remain true, but for example, in this case, if you look at the feet, you know, when I'll get into the feet a little bit more later, you can see that although it does have some similarities to the feet that we've done in the past, it's quite different. There's no reverse foot in there because I need to have stuff like the toes need to be able to articulate to grab and slash things, and so it's a much different type of setup. But as long as you're fundamentally sound with character rigs, then there's no reason why you can't do creatures as well. You just need to be a little more creative in how you approach them. Anyway, so getting back to this rig here, so I built this little rig in just a little mouse script, and you can look at this UI and you can see basically it's pretty self-explanatory. I can just grab a wing and rotate it, and this is just set driven keys that are rotating all this stuff here. And I can set keys on these things as well, which is totally the way to do this. I've also, you know, built these fold wing functions as well that allow us to both extend the wing and also to fold them in on themselves. You know, just kind of making life a little bit easier for the animators, giving them these properly folded and articulated arms and shoulders. It makes it a lot easier for those guys to do their job later on. Now, I've also got the tail here as well, which I can just, you know, quickly demonstrate. I need to fix a little bit of the weighting in there, which I will do shortly. So yeah, so this is the UI that we will use to animate ultimately, but I can still come in here kind of on a more microscopic level, I mean, and I can you know, grab these individual manipulators as well, and I can use those and key those as well, and that's perfectly valid. In the tail and in the back, I'm using Spline IK. Anytime you're doing a series of joints that have multiple degrees of articulation, so you look at an arm, for example, you know, it extends one way, and that's it, and you know, but if you're doing a tail or a tentacle or something, you need a little bit more movement. So you can just use Spline IK, and that's what we've done here, and it just makes things a lot easier. Also in the back, I've got Spline IK. There's a limited number of bones actually in the neck of this creature. Otherwise, I've done that there as well, but I've just instead just built a series of orient constraint manipulators here that are going to be able to help us control all that. Let me look in here. Let's actually zoom in on the face a little bit. If I pull in here, I'll show you the full facial setup that we've got in here. Well, you can see we've got a little blink slider here, and obviously controls the blinks. We've got quite a few degrees of articulation actually around the mouth. Again, modelers need to clean up the weighting a little bit on this, but that's nothing a little cleaning pass couldn't do. But yeah, so you know, this dragon, although this dragon isn't going to talk, and it's not really a close-up LOD for close-up shots, but still it is going to talk. It is going to roar and all that kind of stuff while in flight. So I added this facial rig on here quickly to help us do that. Again, I've also got a constraint system. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little dark, but I've got the Spline IK system for the tongue in there as well. 3 bones that are going to allow us to give the tongue lots of articulation. and that will help us out greatly for that. So that's pretty much this rig. I suppose the one thing I do want to show as well is I wrote a script for export, and what this export script is going to do is it is going to plot down all of the animation down onto the bones, and then it is going to export that out to a particular directory, but just the bones. So if this was being rendered and it was headed towards rendering, so the next stop was this was going to be this animation was going to have to be imported onto a rendering rig. So this export will just export the animation data. So keep the file sizes nice and light and keep the production pipeline clean of too much garbage. But yeah, it's a fun little rig, and I think you guys will probably enjoy using it. There's a little eye control here too. It's kind of cool. And yeah. So that's about it. So again, the only thing that you need to do when you're exporting the data itself is just hit export. And again, everything will be baked and plotted down for all of your animation will be baked and plotted down and exported. Again, just the joint information will be exported. Then you can import that onto your render rigs as well. If you don't want to do that, if you just want to render this out yourself or save it any way that you want, you can do that too. And that should work fairly well for you guys. If you have any questions or concerns, don't feel free to leave a note at the bottom of the page as always, and I will be back shortly to do even more character rigs for you guys.